Hello, my friends. Denise Fleck, the Pet Safety Crusader. I'm here today, and I'm going to be delving into CBD and hemp oil for our pets. I say delving in because you're going to see me actually with notes in hand today, more than you ever normally do, because this is a new topic for me. And although I have been on it, studying on it for a couple of months now, there is so much to learn. And I am just so in awe with some of the amazing experts I have been talking to with all they know about CBD and plants and the adaptogens, some of the other herbs that they're doing the layering with, the processes. There's just so very much for me still to learn, but I want to get started somewhere and share the information I've acquired so far with all of you. But do know there's going to be more to come from me, and there's also more from scientists and researchers and veterinarians and herpetologists and the whole bit, because this is a new and growing arena for people and pets. So let me talk to you a little bit about some studies that have taken place. Earlier this year, researchers at Cornell University did a double-blind study on dogs suffering from osteoarthritis. Obviously this is an ailment that's not at all uncommon, especially in our senior dogs and cats. I often talk about that in Pet First Aid, and that sometimes it even presents itself as causes other problems along the way, particularly with our little feline friends who don't like to get into that number 2 squat when the arthritis is starting to hurt, and they back themselves up and get constipated, which we can't completely alleviate until we actually take care of the arthritis. Now, for people and pets, there have been arthritis meds out there for years, the NSAIDs, the anti-inflammatories. But for many people and pets, those cause problems with various organs in the stomach, some gastric bleeding or just discomfort. So it was amazing that Cornell did this university. Boy, am I tongue-tied today. I'm just so excited about this topic, and I have so much I want to say, but feel like I have so much yet to learn too. But Cornell University did this study over a 6-week period with dogs, and they were either given CBD oil twice a day, or they were given a placebo orally twice a day. And the dogs that took the CBD oil clearly showed improvement, with veterinarians noticing that they had a decrease in pain and there were no reported side effects. Also, pretty much concurrently at Colorado State University, a study was done using CBD oil on epilepsy in dogs. And the trial consisted of 16 dogs, obviously in a control group, and those dogs received a placebo, whereas the others received CBD oil that was flavored with, I believe, chicken broth. There was 12 weeks of the study going on, and then additionally there was another 12 weeks done for the control group, giving them the CBD oil. Well, all of the dogs in this study had actually had seizures during the month prior to going into the study group. And they noticed after the study, all the dogs that did get CBD oil, there was nearly a 90% improvement in reducing the frequency of seizures. So, these are only preliminary findings, but right now, along with testimonials of people that have been using these products on their pets, CBD oil is proving very promising for our animal friends, as well as for us humans as well. It can provide pain relief and so much more. So let me get into talking about some of that. But I want to give you a few quotes. A Dr. Celeste Yarnell, who unfortunately we lost just last month to her battle with cancer herself, had done a lot of research into using CBD on cats. And she says in cats, CBD can control pain, inflammation, arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, pancreatitis, feline idiopathic cystitis, feline lower urinary tract disease. It's neuroprotective, decreases nausea, and it stimulates appetite. And as we know, I'm always harping on this, it's really important to keep cats eating and hydrated. Hydration, 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 especially when they're not feeling their best. And CBD can help reduce cancer systems, and it's wonderful for the brain. We're finding out it's helping with some of those cognitive dysfunctional problems. So we're seeing geriatric dogs and cats with dementia actually improve after being on CBD. There are some other integrative wellness veterinarians and some, more mainstream veterinarians too that are finding the benefits of CBD. So what is CBD? CBD is an acronym for cannabinoid. You know what? I've said this right so many times, and I just knew when I was talking to you guys today, I wasn't going to be able to do it. It's an acronym from cannabidiol, a naturally occurring class of molecules called cannabinoids abundant in the plant genus Cannabis sativa. If you go to the blog that I have posted here, you're going to see the difference between, well, you're going to see the Cannabis sativa L plants, but you're going to see the difference between hemp and marijuana. And that's what I'm going to talk to you first about right now, so that we make this very clear, because I don't want any mistakes made with our precious pets. Hemp and marijuana are related in the same way dogs and wolves are. Our domestic best friends actually do share some traits with their wilder cousins, but there are also many differences. And the same can be said regarding hemp and marijuana. In some cases, the differences are night and day. First off, the plants look very different. So like I said, go to the blog that I've got listed here up in the description, and you'll see the difference between the hemp and the marijuana plants. Hemp is similar to bamboo, which can shoot up to 15 feet high, whereas the marijuana plants tend to grow lower and more bushy. As far as cultivating and using the plants, hemp is generally grown for its stalks and seeds, and in some companies that I'm going to share with you, like Cbds, for the hearts as well, whereas marijuana is used for its leaves and flowers. The elevated levels of THC in marijuana are responsible for its signature high, the tetrahydrocannabinol. A study done in a private lab in Denver showed that recreational marijuana contains up to 30% THC, while the hemp that we use for pets contains a maximum legal amount of 0.03%. So we're talking a huge difference. Some companies are even going to the extreme of removing even that much of the THC, so they're completely THC for our pets. So I'm going to keep talking about this, but please don't even use CBD products intended for humans for pets. Use our pet-specific ones. Often for the humans, they put in different flavorings that may or may not be appropriate for our pets. Let's right now use CBD products that are specific for pets, but you're going to want to do your research, and I'm getting to all of that very shortly here. Now, both hemp and marijuana do contain CBD, the cannabinoids. However, the hemp plant produces an abundance of that, so without, obviously the high. So that's why it's making it so beneficial, because it has so many beneficial products without the unwanted side effects. It's rare for pets to have side effects from, true, good, cultivated and processed CBD. CBD oil is legal in all 50 states. There's no need for a prescription or a medical card for us humans. It's actually considered to be food-based as opposed to a pharmaceutical, and it's completely legal for consumption as long as it is below that 0.03% of THC. Now, I saw just on the Today Show this morning, they were talking about it because Massachusetts just became legal to get marijuana in Massachusetts. I believe that's the first state on the eastern coast. 10 states have marijuana legal for adult use, whereas 33 states currently have it legal for medicinal use. And the unfortunate thing is, although for medicinal purposes it's helping people, what's happening is that in the states where it is available for medicinal use, we're finding a much higher use, or I should say a much higher incident of pets getting into it. And it can really be super, super bad. I'm going to explain about this in a little bit, but what the cannabinoids do is they help our own body's endocannabinoid system. We all have it, dogs, cats, humans, I think all mammalia with a vertebrae, I think just not insects. But we all actually have an endocannabinoid system, which is a whole bunch of receptors that communicate with each other and send messages and try to keep our body in balance and homeostasis. And, you know, they can help with reducing pain and other problems that the CBD is helping. So that's why the CBD is so beneficial, because it works with our own endocannabinoid systems. But in dogs, they have more receptors, a greater concentration of cannabinoid receptors than humans or any other animal, cats included. So if they get into the THC, it can really be super, super bad news. They can suffer ataxia, which is basically where they kind of stand and they spread their paws out and they can't move. They just kind of rock back and forth. Or they can, you know, if the dosages are high, they can really, you know, eliminate on themselves and pass out and literally die. And some of the real problems right now are all the edibles that humans have. I mean, it used to be back in the 60s and 70s, just the lace brownies, but there are all kinds of edibles out there that you can actually buy chocolate bars that have THC in them, and gummy bears and things like that. And, you know, if the dog is, or the cat for that matter, is getting into the THC and it's in a product that already has chocolate and raisins as well, we've just really created a nightmare for our pets. So I want to keep it very clear that the CBD can be so beneficial for our animals, we're finding out, but make sure you're using pet-specific ones. Don't let them to get into anything intended for humans, because it can be super, super, super problematic. So as far as CBD oils go, are they all created equal? And my quick answer is no, absolutely not. You know, it's a new and growing industry. A lot of people are going to be getting into it. A lot of people have done their research. Others have not done their homework. Others are trying to cut corners. So it's important that you really, you know, talk with your veterinarian about this, talk with an expert. Give me a ring or an email. I've talked with some really fabulous experts and I can steer you in the right direction. But, you know, it's something we're going to continually need to be learning about, and we're going to probably be learning about it for ourselves as well, because it's going to be so beneficial for humans. What the very basics are that you need to know are two things: how it's grown and how it's processed. The hemp plant is actually considered a hypoaccumulator, which means it absorbs everything from the ground. You know, it makes sense. It's a plant, it's got roots in the ground, and it's absorbing the nutrients or the toxins, whatever happen to be there. So you want to make sure it's grown in a clean, rich, pesticide-free and heavy metal-free soil. That's so important for starters. Soils that are contaminated with lead, mercury, or pesticides are going to transfer into the toxicity of that CBD oil. Secondly, I want to talk a little bit about the process. There are several different types of extraction process. The ethanol, which is kind of like grain alcohol, is actually considered to be a relatively safe method, and it involves removing the unneeded toxins from the plant and the residues from the hemp. However, there are extractions out there where they're using propane and hexane and pentane and butane, all of which, you know, we all know these tanes are dangerous toxins, and manufacturers are using them, so you don't want to use any of these products for your pet. The most common extraction method is CO2. You know, so, you know, that's pretty common. Obviously, you know, it's making a good product, but what you want to learn about are, even when it's the same type of product, say a CO2 extraction, for instance, different companies do it different ways. And with CO2, in many cases, the hemp actually has to be cooked and cooked and cooked for hours on end, and that means a lot of the good stuff is taken out. It's kind of like when you overcook your veggies, you know. That's why they always say to steam them so that they retain some of the nutrients. So very often a lot of the good stuff is taken out, and then it has to be synthetically added back in. One process I came across that I really, really like is Cbds. They do what they have is called a patented water vapor extraction method that processes the plants in seconds instead of minutes or hours, and instantly activates the oil when extracted, preserving the beneficial terpenes, the flavonoids, and all of the cannabinoid strains, keeping them in their natural state. So, you know, that's a really good thing. And I've just mentioned some words. Let me try to throw some of that out there. Terpenes are the pungent flavors and smells that induce the different effects. The flavonoids are the phytonutrients that offer many health benefits and provide the pigment, the coloring to the plant. And the antioxidants I think most of you know about are the compounds that inhibit oxidation. A lot of you, and I guess I talk about it a lot, are blueberries is a good one, for instance, for our pets. Most pets like it, and it's a terrific antioxidant. So I'm really just scratching on the surface here today, trying to give you those ABCs, but trust me, there are DEFs all the way up through Zs of learning about CBD. But let me tell you a little bit more about how it works. I was talking to you about the fact that our bodies, our dogs, our cats have an endocannabinoid system that modulates our emotions, responses to pain, and other sensation. What the CBD oil does is it targets that system to help our bodies get into balance or homeostasis. This is a new thing. It's not really even in the textbooks. As I mentioned, though, we have discovered that there's a greater concentration of cannabinoid receptors in the canine brain than in any other animal or human. So this higher concentration can make the canine brain react badly to the THC. So pet-specific CBD oil is what we want to use, that and only that. Obviously, you know, there's more to learn. I was talking to you a little bit earlier about Dr. Celeste Yarnell, who's done a lot of work with cats. And she says anxiety and stress within the home can render cats unable to moderate their own inflammatory responses, triggering a whole cascade. There's a biophysical change, then there's a cellular change, and then there's actually a structural change. But those structural changes come so far down the line, they can often be avoided if we address the inflammation and anxiety early. And that's what she's feeling. The CBD, I should say felt, since she has recently passed away, but she's feeling the CBD oil is actually, you know, the benefits of it are actually rooted in a lot of the emotional stress that cats and other animals feel. And there's a wonderful side effect of all of this. The CBD oil actually produces what's called the entourage effect, because it works in combination with all the other components to help create this balance. Jody Ziskin of Treatables, I think, summed it up best when she wrote that all of the compounds from the hemp plant work together, offering pets the greatest benefit. Think of it this way. Each compound is like a musical instrument, wonderful on its own. However, as part of a symphony, it both supports and is supported by the other instruments. And that's what these terpenes and the antioxidants and the flavonoids are doing, along with the components in the CBD oil, to really create an even better sense of wellness. And building upon that, Heidi Navala at Cbds shared with me about adaptogens. And adaptogens are a rare class of very specialized plant and marine extracts that can create a desired effect in an animal, human or animal body. And they're able to detect stress and imbalance, and they target that. And what Cbds is doing, and other companies too, I'm sure, are they're layering CBD products with these various herbs for added benefits. But that's going to have to be another blog somewhere down the line, because I need to learn more and really get a grasp on that to share with you. But what I'm just trying to tell you is there are so many wonderful benefits that we're finding with CBD for our pets, with almost no side effects. I mean, I haven't been able to find any recorded negative side effects. And the great thing is they're not contraindicated. They can be used along with other things. But do talk to your veterinarian. Do get a pet-specific product and research that product. Find out where it's grown and how. Find out how it's processed, and if it's something that, you know, resonates well with you for your pet. Now, CBD aids with anxiety by targeting the endocannabinoid system to help the body balance emotions. So this can help pets that are stressed out by thunderstorms or fireworks, maybe that have separation anxiety syndrome. We're finding it's helping with the brain health. It's been shown to support normal cellular function and promote healthy aging via the mitochondrial support. In one study on Alzheimer's in our species, CBD was found to hinder the development of symptoms of Alzheimer's disease. CBD does reduce inflammation in all parts of the body. I'm not going to say it's necessarily a cure for arthritis, but it does seem to soothe the inflammation that's caused by the worn down cartilages, and helps pets and people feel better. So that's a great thing. And you just I just read to you the study that took place recently, earlier this year at Cornell University, on dogs for osteoarthritis. CBD also stimulates the appetite and fights nausea, and especially when we have a pet ailing from cancer or another disease, you know how important it is to keep their nutrition in them and keep them well hydrated. And you know yourself, when you're not feeling your best, you may not want to eat. Well, the CBD does stimulate the appetite so that the pet can get the nutrients they need and hopefully keep the body strong enough to fight off whatever the disease happens to be. So like I mentioned, there don't appear to be any contraindications with CBD. Always use under the guidance of your veterinary professional. And I just can't stress enough, do not confuse it. I've tried to lay it out for you. Please also go to the printed blog. But the differences between CBD and hemp and marijuana, it's huge. And we don't want our pets anywhere near marijuana or even near CBD that isn't grown properly, like I discussed, that isn't processed in a clean fashion, or that contains more than that 0.03% of THC. But like I said, for pets, many of the products are even removing that amount. And, they all don't taste the same. And we know with our pets, taste can be a big deal, just like with kids getting them to take medications. So it's important that we find one that tastes good. The one by Cbds, Haiku has been, my test buddy on a lot of this stuff. And this has a buttery taste. It's a very clear oil. I've tasted these myself. And I will tell you, he was having back problems. I guess this was about a month ago. He woke up one day and he had the tail between the legs and, sad face and Mr. Grumpy Butt. And he just did not want to do his normal stuff. And you know how mom feels when that happens. I gave him the Cbds. And I would say it was about 90 minutes, he was starting to feel better. We had a second dose later in the day, and the next morning he was running around like his normal crazy 13-year-old self. Now, I'm not saying it's a miracle cure, but it did seem to do the job. And we've had a couple flare-ups since, and I've been trying the CBD oil with him. Since I'm talking about Cbds, let me just show you that they have all types of snacks. This is what one of them looks like. And of course, Haiku, loves his snacks. And they also use the hemp hearts, because hemp hearts provide a broad spectrum of health benefits and have been shown to be, I'm putting these upside down for you, silly me. These were just some samples he's tried, but you can see the different flavors and the different benefits, and that they are, laced with different types of herbs, like I was talking about for the, the adaptogens, and for getting that whole entourage effect by having other components work together. But the hemp hearts are very easily digestible, so they're great for dogs and cats with sensitive stomachs. So that's an awesome one. Another one I've been trying out is from Treatables, and I was quoting Jody Ziskin from Treatables a little bit ago. Remember, she was the one that had the great quote about the entourage effect being like a symphony with all the instruments working together and supporting each other. So this is a very beneficial product as well. Let's see, Prana Pets is another one we've been trying. And what I want to mention to you about Prana Pets is not only do they have the CBD oil, but they have seizure support, because we do know these oils are very beneficial for seizures. And again, they have a special herbal supplement formulation along with the oil, and also for adrenal support for pets having those types of problems. So there are definitely many more products out there, but these three companies I've been testing out, and I feel pretty confident that they know what they're doing and they're trying to do it the right way. They may all have different ways of going about it, but they have our pet's best interest at hand. So there are just so many things, like I said, we still need to learn. And I want to delve into this more, talking about the adaptogens and, the layering of different things, because you can see, like here with Cbds, they, got different kinds of supplements with the CBD that layer in some of the different herbs. and they just help different parts of the body. But what is the big news to all of us here is, because I don't think we knew, and like we said, it was really only discovered in the mid-90s, that all of us humans, dogs and cats too, we all have an endocannabinoid system that does try to find that homeostasis, that balance, and help alleviate pain and emotional stress. And that's what's so incredible about the CBD, because if it's not working properly, or if it needs to be enhanced, this is what can be very beneficial. So I hope I've given you just a little bit of basis today on the ABCDs. I know I've gone, gosh, already 25 minutes talking about this, but like I said, I'm delving into it. I'm scratching the surface. I'm finding out that it does have wonderful benefits in, minimizing or reducing the number of seizures, getting our pets to eat, whether they're dogs or cats, when they're not feeling their best, so they're getting the nutrients, taking down that inflammation so that they can move and enjoy life without taking some of those more harmful pharmaceuticals that end up causing tummy troubles or other gastrointestinal problems, or even, other areas of the kidneys or the liver. So stay tuned. Please read the written blog, and I'm going to update that as I go through. Try out some of these products on your pet, but talk to your veterinarian. And please, like everything the Pet Safety Crusader always says, is do your research. These are our furry best friends, our family members, and we want to make sure we're buying the right products for them. And especially when an industry is kind of, in its new states, a lot of companies are going to be flaring up, creating products and maybe not using best methods. So that's why it's important we are the responsible pet parents and pet caregivers that we are, and we do the best for them. And who knows, maybe a lot of us will be taking this too for our aging brains, our inflammation and pain and other issues. So I'm signing off right now. I'm going to wish everybody a very, very happy Thanksgiving this week, and I'll see you next time. Take care, and thanks for listening. Bye-bye.